doorbells rang. Jane's doorbell rang. "Who in the world is that?" she said. Without getting up, she looked out the storm window and couldn't see anyone. For some reason, she thought it was a child playing with the doorbell. It rang again. This time, she went to the door and saw 3 men standing there. 2 wearing Marine uniforms, the other wore a Navy uniform. The man in the Navy uniform was older and wore a cross on his uniform, a Navy chaplain. Jane opened the door only wide enough for them to talk to her. "Miss Smith?" asked one of the Marines. "Yes," she answered. "We need to speak to you regarding your husband. Can we come inside?" Jane felt her heart drop. All of her blood rushed to her feet. She started feeling dizzy, scared, and nervous. "Just tell me," she said. She knew what they were going to tell her. She just needed them to hurry up and say it. She saw sorrow and pity in their eyes. "Your husband passed away this morning from an improvised explosive device," said the chaplain. She took the casualty report from the Marine's hands. She felt as though someone ripped her heart from her chest. She could no longer stand. So she sat on the stairs and cried and cried. This was the worst day of her life. Now she had to tell the children. No longer would she see her husband smile. On behalf of the President of the United States Army, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service. Getting teary-eyed, it's weird. That's not in the speech, by the way. But why do Americans go to far-off places like Afghanistan and risk their lives for America? This question and many more I need to have answered. Chief Warrant Officer John Moore has volunteered to answer my questions. Mr. John Moore grew up in Brewer and Bangor. His Army career started in the Signal Corps in Korea and France. Later, he was a courageous helicopter pilot in Vietnam. He was awarded medals for bravery, like the Distinguished Flying Cross 3 times, the Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and over 60 air medals. Thank you, Mr. John Moore, for helping me to understand the tremendous sacrifice and suffering American sons and daughters have endured for America. Truly, the sacrifices of common, ordinary Americans have produced heroes, and remind me why I am proud to be an American. From Mr. Moore's stories, I have learned that fighting for freedom is not glamorous, as shown on television and in movies. Men and women die, and usually they are very young. Yet even with that, some Americans feel that there is no cost for freedom. However, freedom's cost is so great, it is priceless. Today, how is it possible for many Americans not to remember those men and women who have fought for American freedom? Along with preserving America's freedom, they have brought freedom to hundreds of millions in the world. Freedom gives people hope and excitement that life can be better. Men and women all over the world envy and identify American freedom. God bless those servicemen and women. They must never be anonymous. Those who serve or have served must be remembered. May their contribution to America's freedom never be forgotten. America must continue its tradition of respect and recognition for veterans. And why? Because America is a rare and precious treasure. For America is freedom. Honor and duty should stir the best in every American to support servicemen and women while they serve and when they come home. Now my responsibility is clear. I will try to live a good life and appreciate every one of America's great freedom. To you, Mr. John Moore, and others like you, I cheer. I have learned a great deal from you. Really, I am amazed and humbled by your unselfish service. You have shown a great love for freedom. I must retell your story so that freedom is kept alive in the minds of present and future generations. Yes, Mr. John Moore, there is a price for freedom, and I promise never forget it or take it for granted. I like saying, I am American and I am free.